Thank you.
Yes.
I got it.
Woohoo!
Yay. Awesome. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning yoga class. Thank you so much for joining me here today on the mat. We're going to go ahead and get started with a nice flow. Hopefully, it's not anything too crazy today, but definitely hip opening, back strengthening, balancing, all the things. Yoga. So we're gonna go ahead and get started just standing at the top of the mat, feet hip distance. Let's take this time to tune in to the body, taking a nice deep inhale, feeling the crown of the head rise, and a long exhale out of the mouth. Let it all go. Feel yourself ground. Noticing where the shoulders are, drawing them back and down from the ears, tucking the pelvis, letting the spine be really nice and long, and just relax through the fingertips and the legs here. Bringing your awareness to your breath. The inhale fills and expands the rib cage. The exhale, you feel the ribs draw in, navel draws back towards the spine. Maybe just taking a moment before we start to move here to set an intention for the practice. I like to just set the intention to be mindful with every movement of the whole body, to be present throughout the whole practice. We're going to go ahead and get started moving here. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, interlace the hands, and turn the palms to face upward, gaze up. Exhale, release the arms by your side. Chin comes towards the chest. Gaze down. We're just going to move one ear to one shoulder. Round the chin towards the chest, ear towards the other shoulder. Round the chin towards the chest, ear to one shoulder. Round the chin down, ear to the other shoulder. Inhale, coming back through center, we'll reach the arms overhead, interlace the palms, turn them up, gaze up. Exhale, release the hands to the shoulders from here. We're just going to do some shoulder rolls, getting some circles in with the elbows drawing as big or as small as you like. And we'll switch directions. Really opening up through the chest here. Releasing the arms down by your side here. We're going to step our feet to the distance of the mat a little bit wider. We'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. On the exhale, the right hand slides down the right leg, left arm reaches over to the side, and we gaze up, trying to stack our shoulders. Inhale, back up. Exhale, left hand on the left leg, reach the right arm over. Inhale, back through center. We'll take it back down to the right hand on the right leg. Reach the left arm over. Inhale, back up. Left hand down the left leg, right arm reaches over. Think about opening that chest, stacking the shoulders, gazing up. Inhale. Inhale back through center. We're going to do some twist here. Folding forward, you can bring your arms to a T. We'll inhale, lengthen through the fingertips. Exhale, right hand comes towards the left foot. Feel free to keep your hand in the center or even bend the knees here. Just really try to open that chest open to the left here. We'll inhale, come back through center. Take the left hand towards the right foot and spin open the chest. Inhale back through center, and we'll take it back down. Again, feel free to keep bends in the knees or to keep the hand in the center of the mat. Lengthening through the spine, we'll inhale, reach up through center. Exhale, left hand to right foot, twist it out. We'll inhale, come back through center, drop our hands to our hips. Just start to roll out the hips here, drawing some circles. And we'll switch direction. Perfect. Our hands are going to come to our lower back from here. We're going to squeeze our elbows together, shoulder blades together, draw the hips forward, open the chest. Inhale. And exhale, we'll start to bend through the knees. You can bring the chest back through center, bend the knees, and take your hands down towards the mat, maybe even your forearms here. We're just trying to get into the hips a little bit. We'll take our hands, interlace them behind the back. As we straighten the knees, we're going to let the hands fall overhead. You don't have to straighten the knees all the way. Feel free to keep a generous bend there. Just allow the head to be heavy, the back and shoulders are heavy. We'll inhale. We're going to sit the hips down, turn the toes a little bit to face outward. Sit the hips all the way down into our Malasana squat. You can bring your hands in front of you to help stability or leave the fist behind your back for an extra strengthening challenge. You might not sit the hips all the way down, and that's okay. Just try your best here. Sit nice and tall. Open the knees away from each other. Wonderful. We're going to bring our hands to plant in front of us here and step the right foot back behind us, coming into a little lizard. We'll drop the back knee, and maybe you can drop onto your forearms here. Just take an inhale and exhale. We'll come back onto our palms if not already. Tuck the back toes. We're going to just switch our feet out. Draw the left foot back. Right foot comes outside of the hands. And we drop the back knee. If you dropped onto your forearms last time, same thing. Try to get low. With the body here, you can open this knee out a little bit away from you. We're going to come back onto our palms from here and just step this knee right behind us, coming into a tabletop position. We're stacked under the shoulders. Taking some cat-cows, we'll inhale, draw the navel down, open the chest, gaze up and forward for our cow pose. Exhale, we'll round through the spine, tucking the pelvis, drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. This is our cat pose. Inhale, draw the navel down, open the chest. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, hunch through the spine. Inhale, draw the navel down, open the chest. Kind of feel like you're bringing your chest between your arms here. And exhale, round through the spine, chin towards the chest. We're going to tuck our back toes from here, bring our spine through center, and sit our hips back onto our heels. This is a nice intense toe stretch. If it feels too intense, you can just release the toes to the ground. We're going to just open our wrists and forearms here, starting with a little mudra. We bring the thumb and index fingers together. We're gonna open our hands out wide, and then we're gonna turn our fingertips downwards and try to rotate them back upwards. Rotate the fingertips down and all the way back up. See how far you can turn the fingertips back. Let's just take that rotation, bring the fingertips down and around and back up and as far back as you can. Down and back and up. Perfect. Just release the mudra here. Roll out the wrist. My feet are definitely feeling stiff today. Roll out the wrists. Perfect. We're gonna go ahead and plant the hands in front of us, release the toes. You can just gently draw the chest down towards the mat here, keeping the hips stacked right over the knees. Just elongate through the spine here in a nice puppy pose. Inhale, breathe into the heart space. And slowly release it out. Perfect. We're just going to walk our hands backwards now and try to sit our hips back into our child's pose, round through the spine. Let the forehead fall onto the mat. Breathing into the back rib cage here. Just give yourself another moment to center. This is a wonderful resting posture to regulate your metabolism. And if you're ever feeling like the practice is too much, you can always come back to this posture. Maybe try opening the knees out a little bit wider here and seeing if you can melt the heart down closer to the ground. Really getting into those hips. Oh. We're going to start to pick the hips up from here. Bring the knees back together a little bit if you had opened them out wider. We're going to start with some spinal waves. So we'll lift the hips round through the spine and let the hips fall forward as we open the heart space. And then pull the hips back, drawing the heart space down. And we're going to just take these spinal waves. You don't need to drop the hips all the way down or sink the hips all the way back into child's pose. Just moving kind of forward and back here. Trying to feel like you're waving the spine. Just bringing all of our awareness to the spine. And not forgetting your breath and to move with the breath. When you round forward next, we're going to drop the hips all the way down. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the glutes here as you release the hips down. Pull the chest forward. Give your elbows a generous bend if you'd like. We're in our cobra pose. You want to feel like those palms are drawing backwards and the chest is pulling forward. Our shoulders are falling away from the ears and shoulder blades are squeezing together, gazing forward here. Taking an inhale, feel the abdominal stretch open. And exhale, release, feel your pelvis pressing into the ground here. We're gonna inhale, just push the hips all the way back once more into our child's pose. Release it out here. Ah, perfect. We're gonna go ahead and lift our hips and bring our hands to interlace, forearms on the mat here. So we're preparing kind of like for a low plank, or we're going to take our dolphin pose here where we tuck our back toes and lift our hips, trying to straighten through the knees. It's okay if you Leave a generous bend here. We're just gonna fire up the core a little bit. So inhale, we pull the chest back, and then we're gonna exhale, drop the hips down, lower the chest. See if you can bring your chin over the fist. Bring the hips back up and lower it back down into a low plank. We'll bring the hips back up, lower the hips down. Inhale, bring the hips up. Exhale, lower it down. Once more, lift the hips. Perfect. We'll exhale, lower the hips down and release the stomach here. Bringing your elbows right underneath your shoulders, forearms down, palms facing down. We're in a Sphinx pose. Open that heart center. And then we're going to go ahead, pick the hips up and let the chest fall back towards the ground like we're doing our puppy pose once more. And we'll walk our hands all the way back towards us so that we can stand up on our knees from here. Let's just take a little bit of a camel action, flexing the back toes. You can kind of sit your hips back. We're going to take our right hand to our right ankle, lift our hips forward, reach the left arm back. Exhale, release out of this. The left hand comes to the left ankle. We reach those hips forward, reach the right arm back overhead. Exhale, release down. We're going to come back through center here, high on our knees. Our hands come to our lower back this time. We squeeze the shoulder blades and elbows together. Push those hips forward. Open the chest, maybe gaze up. If you'd like to take a full camel, your hands can drop back to your knees. Squeeze the glutes here. Open the chest, breathing into the heart space. We'll slowly release our hands coming to our lower back. Just slowly come out. Just find your center here. We're going to step the right foot forward. And we're not going to sink our hips low here. We're going to keep our hips pretty high, actually. We're going to tuck our chin in towards our chest, hands on the knees here. Feel the thighs squeezing towards each other. Feel the front heel and the back knee pressing towards each other. The pretty active stretch here. We're going to add some movement, just gently pushing the hips down and coming back up. Pushing the hips down and pushing the hips back. So when we push the hips back, our hips will be aligned, stacked over the back knee. And when we push forward, our front knee is going to stack over the front ankle. We drop the hips. Just some gentle movement here. Wonderful. We're going to release, step this knee all the way back and switch it out with the other foot. The left foot steps forward. And yeah, you can kind of step the foot a little bit more forward than the knee here just to help us stay lifted. Our hands can press into the lifted knee and we tuck the chin in towards the chest. When we shift forward, we'll bring our gaze forward as well. And then exhale, shift back, chin towards the chest. Add this movement as you like, whatever feels good for you. Awesome. Wonderful. We're going to step our knee back towards us from here and start to get into some vinyasa flow. To help warm up the body, we'll bring our hands down to the mat, walk them closer to the top of the mat. We'll inhale, and on the exhale, bend the elbows into the side as our chin and chest drop down to the ground. On the inhale, we'll pull forward and up with the chest. Squeeze the glutes here. We're in a cobra. And on the exhale, get ready. We're going to tuck our back toes, lift the hips, and shift them backwards to our downward facing dog. Let's just add some movement here. Walking our dog, letting one heel fall to the ground at a time, maybe moving your hips side to side. You just want to feel like all 5 fingertips are pressing into the ground. You feel the tops of the feet pressing in, and you kind of want to push into those hands and draw the chest back towards the thighs. Let the ears fall away from the shoulders here, but make sure you keep engagement in those shoulders, lock them into place. Ah, we're gonna go ahead and just take a half vinyasa here, adding some wild things. We'll inhale, come into a plank position. Draw those shoulder blades away from each other, engage through the core. Exhale, we'll drop our knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, we'll pull forward and up with the chest cobra. And let's add our wild things here. We're just going to gaze over to the left, dropping our hips over to the right. We lift the left hip. Perfect. Placing our weight onto our right hand, we're going to step the top left leg behind the right one and just gently press and lift the hips up. You kind of want to turn the hips to face upward towards the sky. Turn the chest upward if you can. Reach the right arm far overhead. Exhale, we'll release back down. Turn the hips down to come back into our cobra. You can release the chest. We'll press back into our cobra and gaze to the right this time, dropping the hips over to the right. Keep dropping and twisting. We'll put our pressure, our weight into the left hand. The top right leg steps behind the right, bottom left. And we inhale, lift the hips, open the chest. The right hand reaches towards the top of the mat. And we'll exhale, release it down. We're going to come back through center with the hips here. Drop the chest all the way down. Once more, we're going to inhale, press into our cobra. Not too much pressure in the hands here. See if you can use more of the strength of your back. Inhale and exhale. We'll tuck the back toes, lift the hips up and back into our downward facing dog. Really lift those hips nice and high. You should feel a sensation through the hamstring here. Oh, we'll go ahead and walk our feet to the top of the mat towards our hands. Feet stay hip distance here. We're going to bend the knees nice a lot. Maybe even so your stomach can rest on the knees. Our hands are going to interlace around our elbows, and we let our head, neck, body be super heavy here. You can sway it out side to side if you'd like. That always kind of releases a little bit more. And don't forget to breathe. Wonderful. We're going to release our palms here. We're going to try to straighten through the knees as our hands come to our shins and we halfway lift, straightening through the spine. On the exhale, we'll release the chest down into a forward fold. Bend through the knees. Inhale, round the spine all the way up to standing arms overhead. Exhale, release. We're going to do one full sun salutation A here. Warm up a bit more. We'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hinging from the hips. Fold forward. Inhale, we'll halfway lengthen, straighten the spine, straighten the legs. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands. We're stepping our feet back into our plank. On the inhale, we'll lengthen through the crown and the heels. Exhale, we'll lower. You can drop your knees or maybe try to keep them lifted as we lower into a chaturanga push-up, elbows by the side, tucked in. Inhale, pull that chest forward and up. You can either stay in your cobra with thighs on the ground or try to extend those thighs off the ground into our upward facing dog. On the exhale, tuck the back toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths here. Deep inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Inhale, breathing into the belly. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. One more. Deep inhale into the belly. Exhale, release. We're going to lift the heels, bend the knees, and again, just walk our feet up to standing, releasing into a forward fold, and then inhaling all the way up to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, hands by your side. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and start with a standing sequence. Just do what you can, honor your limits, um, and be appreciative, I guess, of what you can do, not um, angry at yourself for anything for what you can't do. We're going to go ahead and get started in trees. So our weight is going to shift onto our left foot. You can either have this right foot at your ankle. This is most stable here. You can have it at the inner calf, or we can skip all the way past the knee joint, bring the foot into the inner thigh. We're going to squeeze everything together here, standing nice and tall. Let's try to find maybe 2 or 3 breaths here. And then we'll release the knee in front of us and start to press that foot behind us. We're coming into a warrior 3. Our body makes a T position parallel to the ground. Our hips are square to the ground. You can bring your arms out or keep them by heart center. We're going to bend, 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 bend into the knee, the standing knee, until our back foot can land back behind us. We inhale, reach the arms up into our low crescent, our high crescent lunge. We're going to bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together, palms facing forward, cactus arms. Adding some movement here, we'll inhale, straighten through the front knee, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, bends and squeeze the shoulder blades, cactus arms. Inhale, extend and lengthen. Exhale, sink deeper into the lunge, cactus arms. Once more, we extend and lengthen. And we'll sit nice and deep into our lunge. Feel the back leg straight and engaged. Wonderful. We're going to extend the arms straight, pivot the back foot, and come into our warrior 2, turning the hips open towards the long side of the back, towards the long side of the mat. Try to sink those front knees nice and deep, 90 degrees here. Oh, feel the strength of the lower body. Fingertips are reaching towards opposite sides of the room. Gaze is forward. We're going to go ahead and bend, 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 bend into this knee so we can plant our hands on the ground. We're going to turn this foot so that it points up towards the sky and the knee also points up. Here we sit low in our Skandasana. You can keep your hands planted. Oh, just feel a nice hip release here. We're going to plant the hands, pivot the back foot downwards here, and reach the left arm up to the sky in a dragonfly twist. We'll drop the back knee from here. We're going to cycle the arms so that the right arm reaches up, left arm reaches back, low lunge. If you'd like, you can take a little challenge here. Bring the right forearm down to the knee and try to bend the back left foot and maybe grab the left foot and see if you can pull it in towards your glute. Releasing the foot, if you have it grabbed, just gonna drop the hands to the mat, turn our body back to forward. Our hands frame the front foot. We'll just inhale, draw the chest forward, drop the hips low. Exhale, we're gonna push the hips backwards and straighten through the left knee as we flex the left toes, coming into a half split. This is honestly a really nice posture to use some blocks under your hands for, just to help you straighten through the spine and keep a flat back. We're just gonna breathe here. On the inhale, feel the crown of the head lengthen long. On the exhale, maybe you can drop the chest a little bit closer towards an extended knee. Oh. From here, we're gonna tuck our back toes, straighten the back leg, and just kind of jump the back foot in, maybe like a foot or so that the whole foot can ground behind you. The toes are kind of pointing 45 degrees off towards the corner. Front toes point forward. We're going to square the hips. The right hip draws down, left hip draws back. We straighten through both legs and extend the spine long in our pyramid pose. Again, another great posture to use blocks under your hands for here. We'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhaling back up, we're going to place our right hands maybe inside of the left foot, or for a bigger challenge, we take it all the way outside of the left foot and we reach our left fingertips up to the sky. Taking a little revolve triangle here. Exhale, release the hands down to frame the foot. We're going to pivot the back foot so the toes point towards the long side of the mat. Our hips open up here. And then we just take our right arm, reach it up to the sky. This kind of, I always need to kind of readjust, lift the chest and kind of fold back over the side just to get more proper alignment here with my hips stacked, my shoulders stacked. Yeah. Triangle pose. And then we're gonna exhale, release, fold forward, pivot the front toes to face also towards the long side of the mat. And pigeon toe the feet a little bit towards each other. We're taking a wide-legged forward fold here. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, see if you can just let the chest fall down towards the ground. Oh, let the head be heavy. Then we'll inhale all the way up to standing. Our hands come to our hips here. We turn the feet outward. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend through the knees, drop the hips. We're coming into our horse pose. Really push those knees out and away, tuck the pelvis, open the chest. We'll inhale once again, extend through the knees, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, sit nice and deep back into your horse. Feeling strong, feeling your core engaged here. Sink a little bit deeper, and then we'll inhale, extend straight, point the front toes forward. Just make sure the back toes are pointing towards the long side of the mat, perpendicular to the front foot. We'll bring our arms to a T and bend nice and deep into the front knee once again. Warrior two. We're going to inhale, draw the right hand down the right leg. Left hand reaches back and over for a peaceful warrior. Exhale, we'll draw the left forearm onto the left knee. Reach the right hand over for a side angle. And we'll exhale, release the right hand down. We're pivoting the back foot. We're going to also plant the left hand, framing the foot. We're going to go ahead and pick the left foot up, but hug the knee in towards the chest. We're going to drop the knee down and lift the knee up towards the chest for one. Drop the knee down, back up towards the chest for two. Drop the knee down, back up towards the chest for three. And we'll push the hips back, extend the leg nice and high into our three-legged dog. And exhale, release into our downward facing dog. We're going to flow it out here. Feel free to just take a child's pose instead. Inhale, rounding into your plank. Exhale, lower as you like, chaturanga maybe. Inhaling, opening up the chest. And exhaling, meeting me back down in downward facing dog. We'll go ahead, lift the heels, bend the knees, stepping our feet all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, reaching arms all the way overhead. Exhale, release. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and shift our weight now into our right foot. We're going to take our tree pose and everything on the other side. So the left foot can stay at the ankle, it can come to the inner calf, or it can come to the inner thigh as long as we just skip the knee joint. We're going to squeeze everything together here. Standing nice and tall. We'll release the front knee forward and then just start to press that left foot back behind us as we shift our chest forward into a warrior three position. Trying to keep the hips square. We're going to go ahead and bend into the standing knee until we can plant the left foot back behind us. Inhale, reach the arms overhead into crescent lunge, sinking nice and deep into that front knee. We bend the elbows, draw the shoulder blades together, open the chest. We'll inhale, reach the fingertips up straight into the front knee. Exhale, sink it back down into our lunge. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, sink it back down. Cactus arms. Inhale, extend straight through the arms and knees. Once more, we exhale, bend into both the elbows and the knee. Oh, yes. We're going to go ahead, pivot the back foot. If the toes face the long side of the mat, we bring our arms to a T, extending the fingertips towards opposite sides of the room, gazing forward, seeing if you can bend into that knee a little bit more here. Oh. And we'll bend into the front knee more and more, kind of shifting our hips towards the front. Our hands drop to the ground, and we bring our right hip towards our right heel. The left toes and left knee turn upward. So we're in a skandasana. Just allow the hip to release open here. Breathe through any discomfort. We're going to lift the hips, pivot the back foot downwards. The left hand plants. The right arm reaches up it for a dragonfly twist. And we'll drop the back knee here. We're going to lift the left hand up to the sky. Right hand kind of reaches back towards the thigh. And again, this is where you can kind of take an extra challenge if you'd like to just drop the left forearm down onto the front knee and try to bend the back knee, grab it with your hand, bring it in closer to your glutes. Oh, we'll release the back foot. We're going to bring our hands down to frame the front foot. First, just inhale, drop the hips as low as you can, open the chest, gaze forward. Exhale, we'll push back the hips, straighten through the front knee, flex the right toes. Oh, yes, we're squaring the hips, draw that left hip forward, right hip back. Trying to keep a flat back here. We'll inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Mhm. Just kind of breathing here, releasing the hamstring. We're going to go ahead, tuck the back toes and extend the back knee straight. Just jump the back foot in a little bit so the whole foot can ground. You can drop the front toes down too. We kind of turn the back toes to face the corner in like a 90-degree kind of rotation there. We're going to keep both knees extended, square the hips off, extend long through the spine on the inhale. And once again, exhale, fold. Trying to bring your forehead down to the knee, to the shin. And preparing for a revolved triangle, we'll lift the chest up a little bit. We'll take the left hand, you can leave it on the inside, or you can take the left hand on the outside of the right foot, make it much more challenging. We're going to reach the right fingertips up to the sky, opening the chest, gazing up if you can. We'll exhale, release the right fingertips down. Wonderful. We're going to pivot the back toes here so they open towards the long side of the mat. The hips open. We're taking our regular triangle. I like to lift my hips and kind of fold back sideways over the extended front knee here. You want to be nice and long through the side body, trying to make a 2D shape here. Oh, wonderful. Nice release. Oh. We'll pivot the front toes to also point towards the long side of the mat, maybe even pivoting the toes to be facing each other a bit more. We take a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, extend long through the spine. Exhale, drop the chest. Let your upper body become nice and heavy here as you fold forward. We're going to inhale, bend the knees, stand all the way up to standing. Turn the toes to face outward from here. Reaching arms overhead. On the exhale, we're going to bend into the knees, sit the hips down into our horse pose. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, once more, sit down as low as you can. Get even lower this time. Try to keep the pelvis tucked, chest open upward. And we'll inhale, reach it all the way back up. Well, on this side, maybe just add a little bit of skater action, bending into one knee, then the other, moving hips side to side. Just kind of release any tension while also building some strength here. Awesome. We're going to come back through center. Point the front toes forward. Make sure the back foot is perpendicular. We're going to bend into the front knee here. Extend the arms long right into our warrior two. Inhale, left hand draws back, right hand draws overhead. And then we'll exhale, come forward, right forearm onto the right thigh, left hand overhead. Maybe gazing up under that armpit, we open the chest, shoulders stack. We'll exhale, pivot the back toes from here. Plant both hands to frame the foot. We're going to pick the right foot up, hug the knee in towards the chest. We're going to lower the knee to the ground and pick it back up for one. Lower it down, pull it into the chest for two. Drop it down, pull it into the chest for three. We'll move the hips back, extend the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And we'll exhale, release it down. Wonderful. We're once more just going to take a little flow here. You could just go straight to child's pose if you like. We'll inhale, round through the spine into plank. Exhale, elbows hug in as we lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And
Can you hear me?
exhale. Yeah, I can hear you. You talking? Oh.
Ah, namaste.